All right, does anyone else have additional nominees? Or else we'll go ahead and figure out the best way to siphon down that southwest district. And the other thing is we're going to need to put forward, or they're going to need to choose someone to kind of, how do we refer to the chairperson?
I'm guessing that the other person would have to be a Democrat or an independent, since we'd already have the 3 Republicans.
Did you say not more than 3?
Not more than 3.
In total? Yep.
Correct.
Okay. And both Dan and Dave presumably are Republican?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so it would be Democrat or independent. All right, sounds good. Does anyone, how do we want to go about this?
Flip a coin.
Have you talked to both of these gentlemen? Are they both pretty excited about this opportunity?
Yeah, actually they are.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We
Took this course just to make sure that there was no gaps or voids in the nominations.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
In case, like you said,
having a 5th person might be useful just from the pool when they're looking to see who else might come aboard as a chair.
My first thought was to select Dan and have Mr. Bunsness be the chairperson, but we can't do it that way, can we?
Right.
Right.
I know, just if they have a pool, I know Mayor Shoneman brought up Lloyd Hodgen, who used to be a council member here back years ago, and I think he's an independent.
He is.
He'd also make a great chairperson also. So he went through this the last time we kind of did it, or started setting up the stuff the last time we did it. So
He was excited to be a part of it, so we could pass along that recommendation to those guys.
From the Southwest, I'm sure both
either
both
one.
gentlemen understand that there needs to be some trimming. I made it clear
Sure.
in my conversation. So these are nominees, not appointments yet.
Do we have to narrow it down tonight?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we could all weigh in if you prefer, but I mean, if you guys just rock, paper, scissors did, or had some other method of,
Let's put forward David Bunsness from the Southwest.
sounds good. So then we will take note. And Ron, you're recording this for me? We've got Kristen Morris of the Southeast. We've got David Bunsness of the Southwest. We've got Kara Fordham of Northwest and Troy McQuillan of the Northeast. Keeping in mind that the chairperson that these folks will have to select will have to be not of the Republican Party, given that there's 3 of them on this committee. So if that seems suitable to the council, I would take a motion to approve that appointment list of 4.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Remley and a second from Councilman Johnson. Karl, would you give us a roll call vote on that one, please?
Councilmember Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the,
Excuse me. If I could ask these people who nominated the 4 people, if you could give me, or have them contact me so that we can start the process of getting them organized so they can pick a 5th person and we can have a first meeting. So thank you.
thank you very much, Mr. Weiger. That was easy.
Yeah.
Next, we've got the discussion of the public input process regarding the two-way Main Street. Here to tell us about that is City Manager Joe Gaa. Joe, you've been hearing a lot about that.
Yes, it's quite the topic of discussion lately, and we've really just started. So this is exciting to think about. But really, we probably haven't just started, but I think the process is going about as good as it has. Of course, I'm not from here. I'm not a native. I've been here a little over a year, so all of this history is hearsay. But it seems like ever since it changed to a one-way street in the mid-'80s, it's over the years, several times it's been talked about going back to a two-way street. And it's been brought to city staff a few times by the Downtown Association to consider it, always with the premise that, well, if you can get support from folks within your district, we'll talk about moving it forward. That's never been done until today. And so this association board has done a really good job getting that support. And what you have in your packet is a result of a survey that they used for folks within the district to kind of gauge their thoughts and their impressions. And I think it's good work. I think you'll find it to be a good starting point, but I think it is a starting point. So we know that the Main Street District is something that's important to folks in the community, and we want to give everyone a voice. So the thought process now, I want to ask you to basically accept these survey results, and then also open up a public comment process, really just on the premise of the idea of should we change to a two-way Main Street. And that will help us gauge some public input, some public concerns. We're already hearing some things. And then those concerns will be put into a draft plan. And then from there we can decide, is this really something we want to take on? I can tell you that we've been working on a way to make this a temporary thing if it is something worth doing, so that we don't invest a whole ton of money in it. And if we've missed something, we'll be able to change it back easily. But beyond that, this is really an open slate. So what I'm asking the council tonight is to start a process, much like we used on some other things last year, is to ask for either emails to the City Hall at aberdeen.sd.us address, or also by mail to the city manager's office at 123 South Lincoln Street, or also to make public comments, and then in the public comments section for the next 3 meetings on the 20th and 27th of September and October 4th. And again, those comments will be pooled together with the comments from the Downtown Association survey, and we'll start to draft some plans from there. Is this a viable option? What are some concerns people have, and how can we address that? That's how we'll move forward with it. But I do think it's something we want to hear about before we start getting too far along.
Thank you very much, Joe. So the proposed action would be to essentially solidify those dates for the public input.
Well, just the dates, the process, encourage mail and email as well.
Sounds good. Could I get a motion to do those things?
I move to do those things.
We'll give it to you, even though there's a delay. I know.
Yeah,
So-
I get that one.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Langer and a second from, was that you, Johnson? From Clint Brooks. Any questions for Joe on this process, or any input from the council on this? I know that-
I would just like to commend the Aberdeen Downtown Association for all their hard work on this, and the city manager and Robin, because I feel like you guys have worked really hard on addressing all of this, and I'm excited as a business owner in downtown Aberdeen because I think this is a great thing to talk about, and I really like the process we're going forward in, and so I'm excited to see what comes out of it. So thank you for all that hard work, and looking forward to this next month of hopefully positive feedback.
Sounds good. I would echo those sentiments. Thank you very much, Tiffany. All right, anyone else from the council? Otherwise, I would take a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Next, we've got the recommendation on bids for the sheet pile dam repairs on Elm. Oh, excuse me, I about skipped you, Peggy. Sorry about that. The change order for the Aberdeen Water Reclamation Facility improvements. You've been so patiently waiting back there. Possible approval of that change order number 1 for the total amount of $47,700 for Swanberg Construction. Peggy, what can you tell us about that change order?
The change order is part of our biosolids dewatering project. It's necessary because with COVID and everything, it's getting really hard to get equipment, and we had anticipated the completion date of this project to be by December, and it's not going to be that soon. It'll probably be March, and we need to have a heated enclosure for our biosolids application, equipment, our tank and our tractor. And what we're doing with the dewatering equipment, that's going into the current garage, heated garage. So we have a cold storage building that we're taking a third of it, partitioning it off, and adding insulation and a couple of heaters and a fan just to kind of get us through this process. So, and Swanberg Construction is the construction company that got the bid for the dewatering equipment. So we have asked them to give us an RFP, a request for proposal, how much it would cost. So that's really all this is right now, is just approving that RFP.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Reinbold. Does anyone have any questions for Peggy while she's here? Sounds good. Karl, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Thank you for joining us tonight. Next, we've got the recommendation on bids for the sheet pile dam repairs in the Elm River project. This would be the approval to award the bid in the amount of $540,000 to B&B Contracting, as well as to authorize the city manager and finance officer to sign those documents. And here to tell us about that is Robin Bobzien, city engineer. Robin, what can you tell us about that?
This is actually something that's going through Bob's department, but I'm the one that prepared the plans for this. So we did have it in front of you a couple weeks ago, as you'll recall, and we pulled it back due to the fact that FEMA wanted to take another look at the amount. FEMA's funding a great deal of this, so they wanted to make sure that they were comfortable with what we were doing because the cost in their mind went up quite a bit. Price-wise, there is a slight increase based on just the marketplace right now, but secondly, this is a wider stretch of the Elm River Channel, and so that's what caused the majority of the increase. We did our presentation to them on why it's a reasonable price. They agree with us and have given us approval to move forward. So we're recommending the approval of this bid. This is the only bid that we received this time. I believe the last time we had 2 bids, but.
Thank you, Robin. With that, I would take a motion to approve that payment.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilman Remley. Any questions? Mr. Bobzien? Josh, what have you got?
Rob, you talked about FEMA covering a significant portion. What is that portion? I'm just curious.
75%.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? All right, then. Karl, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the payment request change order for the 3rd Avenue Southeast reconstruction. Possible approval of payment number 2 in the amount of $234,291.65, as well as a change order in the amount of $27,562.55 to B&B. Robin?
The change order, the primary amount for the change order was mostly in the landscaping area and just trying to make things look better when we get done than when we started. And so some of the areas around St. Luke's area, we had to do some things to tie into their landscaping. So that's the majority of the change order. The payment in the $234,000 range, that will get us pretty much done now. We've got some retainage, but that project hopefully will be open tomorrow. So we recommend the approval of the change order and the payment.
So moved.
Approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson, a second from Councilman Lunsman. Any questions for Robin on this one? Otherwise, Karl, give me a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the payment request as well as a change order for the accessible quadrant improvements. This would be payment number 4 in the amount of $18,406.94, and the change order for the amount of $3,224.60 to CWF Masonry for work on the project, and Robin will tell us about that one.
Change orders for work that we did not have in the, typically we're doing just curb and gutter and the quadrants. In this case, we had to do some fillets to handle some drainage in the areas where we worked. So it's a small amount for tie bars and things like that. The payment is basically for a couple quadrants, and we have about half of this project left to do. So we'll be doing some more as we go through the fall here. But we recommend approval of the change order and payment.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Remley. Karl, roll call vote.
Councilmember Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion is carried. Next, we've got the review and approval of the claims and payrolls. The bills would be the bill list for September 7th. And all the language about payroll that's usually not in there is no longer in there, but I know that we pay for the Social Security, Medicaid, all the old age stuff, what have you. So I'd take a motion to approve our payroll for this pay period as well as the bills listed.
I don't think we have payroll this pay.
might not have one.
We just
No.
have bills.
Redundancy in the language, I guess.
an extra week in there.
Move to pay the bills.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reif and a second from Councilman Rux. Karl, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Aye,
Mayor Shoneman.
motion is carried. Next, we've got the city manager's report.
Yes, a couple of things. One, it's the first week of the month, so the August 21 and milestone anniversaries, we had 3 of them, 2 5 years. The 5 years were Walt Bauer in the Waterworks, one of our operators out there, and then Don Thorstensen in the Parks Department, who heads up all the concession operations at Wiley Park. So those 2 are the 5-year, and then one 15-year, Keith Nold in the street department, who oftentimes is in the street sweeper. So for those of you that enjoy seeing those go down the street, that's Keith doing that work. So we appreciate all of those folks and congratulate them on those milestones. And then also kind of another community milestone this week. I'm a big fan of Division II athletics, and I've been real excited about Division II football for a long time. And this is one of those moments I think I'll always remember is Northern Stadium opening. Those are always fun, great community milestones. But interestingly enough, it will bring a lot of people to a neighborhood that have maybe not seen a lot of people for a while. And they get a little concerned about parking. So Chief McNeil and his staff have been working closely with Northern, and you've seen some press releases on parking. We just encourage folks to park in the parking lots when at all possible. And if you are parked on the street, to make sure it's legal to do so. We're going to make sure some of Chief's folks are out there making sure we're all good neighbors. I think if we all park correctly, the neighbors will love seeing us and welcome us to the neighborhood as we walk to the game, and that's what we want. This is going to be a pretty exciting moment, but we also want to let the neighbors know that we are looking out for them as well. We know this is a new thing, but we're there to take notes. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Joe, I see that we've got State Representative Karl Perry in the audience. Karl, did you have something to share with us?
That you guys are doing a great job. You represent our city very well. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I'm sure the rest of the council does as well. Anything else from the council before we move to adjourn? Then I would take a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
And a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Remley. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. We are adjourned.